I've been in the market for a portable power station. I've been looking at a few different brands, but all of a sudden one day this one shows up in the mail. I think the company is called LumOPal, and this is their portable power station. It's an 850 watt or 600 watt hour. I am excited to check this out. From what I can see on Amazon, this retails for right around $550. Let's do a quick unboxing to see what we get. Welcome back to another Jeff Reviews for you. And as you saw in this video, we are looking at a portable power station by the company LumOPal. You know what? Enough talking about this product. Let's get right into the review to see how it does. Unboxed, you can see we have a proprietary charger with charger cord. We also have an instruction manual and the LumOPal itself. I'm impressed with all the different outlets. You can see we have 2 AC outlets. We have 3 USB outlets. It looks like they're all 5 volts and 2.4 amps. We have a USB-C. We have a DC outlet. We have some inputs for solar panels or regular charging or even charging through your car. Our buttons to activate it are right here on the top. Something different about this portable power bank is you spin it around and you can see it has a large light on the back with 36 LED diodes. Now that's a cool addition. Turn it on, we can hit one of the 4 buttons on the top. I'm just gonna hit the AC, which would then power these 2 ports. You can see from the factory we have a 37% charge, and of course we have a very little draw right now. Actually we have no draw, so it's looks like it's calculating the time to empty. Let's turn that off. I can turn on the LED. You know what, that probably just turned the light on the other side. Let's turn around to see what that looks like. There's your lights on the back. I should say, if you're looking at different models from the LumOPal, this only comes in the 300 and 600. The 1000 does not include the light on the back. I've turned the lights off here in my office, although the sun is still up, so you can see some light coming in from the windows, but I sure wanted to show you the LED light, how well it does lighting up a space. Check that out. It's almost like I have the actual light on. It's a pretty impressive light. If we look at measurements, it's 11 inches long, 6 inches tall, and 7 inches wide. If we take a look at the outside, this is made of aluminum. There is a plastic handle here on the top that flexes. The front and back are both made out of plastic. Let's check out the bottom. We can see pretty decent rubber feet on the bottom, and of course the aluminum's carried all the way around. Although you can charge this via solar panel, cigarette lighter, or the power brick, the only thing I have is the power brick, so I'm going to try out charging it that way. I did try using my current solar panel for a different portable power station, except the ports didn't fit. So let's plug this in and charge it up. You can see that we plugged it in. Our input power right now is pretty high, above 140 watts. It ranges between 140, 145, that kind of thing. And it's telling me I have 3 hours to charge until full. That's actually pretty fast charging. If I have almost like 63% to go and only 3 hours, that's pretty decent. As we're charging up our portable power station, I wanted to see if we can have like pass-through power or flow-through power where this is charging, but I can also power a device. So what I have now is I have my Arctic Air plugged in. You can see my input power is changing. Output power, let's turn this fan on and see. All right, so my output power is 10, 14 watts, there you go. And I still have a lot of input power, so that's cool. So I'm actually charging the unit, and at the same time I'm charging it, I'm actually utilizing this fan. This is a cool feature, except it's important to note that if the thing you have plugged in draws more power than you are charging, you'll will never charge. But since this is only drawing under 20 watts, it's actually still going to charge. It raised the time to 3.6 hours instead of 3.1, so that's pretty neat. I'm actually going to have this turned off because I don't want to have any kind of interference when I'm charging the rest of the way, but it is cool to have the pass-through capability. As this is charging, let's talk a little bit about the specs. They say it's a light 14.2 pounds, and it might be that. It seems a little heavy to me. I will put a weight check on it in a little bit. It also says it has an IP rating of an IP63, both for water and dust proof. I will look into that a little bit. The cool thing is discharge temperature, usage temperature as low as 5 degrees Fahrenheit and as high as 131 degrees Fahrenheit. That's pretty cool. Something I did not mention before earlier, although I did say it had a USB-C port, that's both an in and an out. So you can actually charge from that port as well as use it for power. I was looking at the LumOPal Amazon site, and I did find they have an adapter that you can connect almost any solar panel to their connection, and I'll leave a link down in the description of the actual connector you will need, but it's cool that you could sort of link it up with any panel and they sell an adapter. So I want to make a couple observations. So now that we've reached high 90s, our input power has decreased. So that's that whole quick charging has now slowed down a little bit. I guess that top off that little bit. But I did want to point out that the power brick does get warm. So when this was pushing out 145 watts, I measured this up to 105 degrees Fahrenheit. Now that it's only putting out around 80 watts, I'm seeing about 88, 89, 90 degrees Fahrenheit. So just so you know, this power brick will get warm. I don't know if you can see this right here, but the heat from the power brick actually melted the glue under this laminate and it started separating the top from the piece of wood underneath, which is actually really interesting. So that sustained temperature, 105 degrees Fahrenheit over time, actually melted the glue. So if you have your power brick sitting on something, make sure you put a temperature safe surface underneath it. So tell me, what are your thoughts about this portable power station? Do you have one? Were you considering getting one? Do you have one that you like that you'd love to recommend? Let us know down in the comment section below. We would love to hear from you. I've been using this LumOPal now for 2 weeks, and so some of the things I've done is I've ran fans and TVs and I've done lights, and you know what, those things are boring, right? Now we are actually gonna try something fun, and that's brewing a pot of coffee. This coffee pot is actually 900 watts, and if we remember, the LumOPal is 850 watts, but it has a 1,000-watt maximum or peak, but this thing also has an overload shut off, so if it gets too overloaded, the whole thing will shut off. So in theory, it should work. I'm excited to see what happens. Now, if this does work, my guess is when we see the power indicator, that thing's just gonna drop really, really fast. All right, let's turn on our AC switch. Now we have to turn the coffee pot on. Let's see what happens. All right, so immediately what we're seeing is a massive output power. You see that 767 watts. This thing is gonna drop fast. Hopefully our pot of coffee will brew within the 47-minute timeline. I don't know if you can see that, but we are brewing coffee. How cool is that? This LumOPal actually powers a coffee maker. That's a lot of power. So we're over halfway through, and you can see we've dropped about 23% in our battery power, and that is actually what I thought it would do, because like I said, this type of portable power station is not meant for a coffee pot. I just want to see if we can put it through the test, if it would stress it out, and I'm pleasantly surprised. Sounds like we're nearing the end of our coffee brewing, except I thought I put 12 cups in, so it should have at least another 3 cups or so to go. I should say during this process, I've been checking to see if there's any temperature fluctuations in the case, and it is not. It is still just as cool as it was when I started. We're officially done, and I did shut it off because it finished the brewing, and of course you can see we used about 28% of our battery, which is impressive. Like I said before, if you're using this for fans or TV, something that's only pulling 10 to 20 to 30 watts of power, you're gonna get a whole lot more use out of this. Like I said, I just wanted to see if it would do this coffee pot, and it did, and I'm very impressed with that. In this video, we're looking at a portable power station by LumOPal. So what did we think of it? Well, I should say this is the LumOPal 600, which is their 850 watt portable power station or generator. It retailed for right around $550. And based on my research, that's a typical price point for this type of power station. It does have really fast charging, and then when they said 80% in 2 hours, they are correct. You always know that first 20% and that last maybe 5% always go a little slower when you're recharging batteries, so I'm still impressed with the rate of speed that this thing could recharge. While I was testing this, I was able to power lights and TVs and fans and even video games, and it lasted for days and days and days without having to recharge. And I was actually pretty impressed. I even powered a little cooler with it, and I was like, whoa, this thing actually worked for almost half of a day. Pretty cool. This is not really meant for someone looking for a whole home or a backup generator, because that's just not what this is. This is meant for the person who's like, you know what, power's gonna go out for a few days. I wanna run maybe my phone, my computer, maybe a CPAP. That's what this is gonna be for. You can run those for a few days without any worry. I like the portability and lightweight, and yes, it is just over 14 pounds, and although that might seem lightweight, it is heavy to lug around if you're carrying around, especially if you're camping, so just be aware of that as well. In my opinion, this is great for RVers, van life, camping, or just someone who's looking for something to back up power in the case of a power outage. Anyway, that was my full review of the LumOPal 600. If this is something that interests you, I will leave a link down in the description. This is Jeff with Jeff Reviews for You. As always, thanks for stopping by, and I hope you have a great day. So I want to tear this down just a little bit so I can take a peek on the inside. I actually grabbed an Allen wrench that was going to fit here, and I just started spinning and spinning, and it wasn't gripping at all. So then I took a closer look, and these are just rubber plugs. So I have to get a pair of pliers to try to pop these out. There it goes. Let's see what's inside. There's some sort of a hex bit inside there. All right, we've taken off our screws. Just so you know, this will void any kind of warranty, so don't take yours apart. Couple things I noticed really fast. That circuit board back there is actually your BMS, your battery management system. That looks pretty cool. I can see some of the batteries on the inside, but my biggest concern, there is no rubber gasket or sealant or anything around this. So wonders, how is this even water rated? Not that I would try to get it wet anyway. I definitely now would keep it away from any kind of moisture. Take a closer look. You can see those purple things. Those are actually your batteries, and that's what fills up this portable power station. So just picture rows and rows of those. That's how you get your weight and your mass of this battery. Now, I've seen everything I wanted to see, the BMS, also the weather rating. There's no stripping here whatsoever to keep water out. So let's button this all back together. I really do appreciate that you stayed around for my entire review of the LumOPal 600, their 850 watt portable power station. You know what, not that long ago, I actually reviewed another portable power station. It's by Jackery. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna link that right up here, and I would love it if you would click on this link. And when you do, by the magic of the internet, I'm gonna join you right there. So go ahead, click it. It's safe, I promise.